Recently, the Honorable President of India has sought the advice of the Supreme Court under Article 143 of the Constitution on the matter of determining the timeline within which the President must give assent to a bill that has been reserved for their consideration by the state government. Now, this makes us important to know about Article 143, which is relating to the advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Article 143 empowers the President of India to seek the advisory opinion of the Supreme Court on any question of law or fact that is of public importance and is either likely to arise or has already arisen. इसमें भी दो केसेस आते हैं. The first case is under Article 143 subclause 1, under which it is not binding for the Supreme Court to give their advice. And then is under Article 143 subclause 2, under which it is binding for the Supreme Court to tender their advice. Under Article 143 subclause 2, if the President seeks advice from the Supreme Court on any matter that relates to pre-constitutional treaty or agreement, then the Supreme Court is bound to give their advice. Now this article, Article 143 subclause 2, has to be read in accordance with Article 131. If you all remember, Article 131 talks about the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, and it clearly states that the Supreme Court is not allowed to deal with any matter or any dispute that arises out of any pre-constitutional treaty and agreement. यानी आर्टिकल 131 के अंदर सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जुरिस्डिक्शन को रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर दिया गया है इन टर्म्स ऑफ डीलिंग विद एनी डिस्प्यूट दैट हैज़ अरिजन बिकॉज ऑफ प्री कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल ट्रीटी. लेकिन अगर प्री कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल ट्रीटी से रिलेटेड कोई एडवाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया को सुप्रीम कोर्ट से चाहिए तो उस केस में द सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज बाउंड टू गिव देयर एडवाइस. सो वी नीड टू रिमेंबर दैट आर्टिकल 143 has two important subclauses. In the first clause, it is not binding for the Supreme Court to give their advice to the President of India, but in the second clause, it is binding for the Supreme Court to give their advice. Another very important point, the advice tendered by the Supreme Court is non-binding in nature. आप अगर नाम देखें, the name itself suggests that it is advisory jurisdiction. So it is like just an advice, and an advice is not binding in nature. Hence, the opinion that is given by the Supreme Court under Article 143 is non-binding in nature for the President of India.